This here is from The Hollywood Reporter. Johnny Depp talks Marty bouts with Hollywood and moving on. I don't have any ill feelings towards anyone from October 26, 2024. Let's see what we got. Johnny Depp's plane was late coming into Rome, so he missed the Rome Film Festival press conference that was scheduled on Saturday to talk about the new film he directed, Marty, 3 Days on the Wing of Madness. See, Amber's team was right. Johnny's late to everything. Can't depend on this guy. Johnny should have jumped in the cockpit and landed the plane himself. There's no excuse. Let's keep going. Depp was due to present the film that evening, pick up a prize, and then fly out on Sunday morning. The actor is considered a controversial figure in Hollywood after years of legal battles and a messy divorce from his ex-wife, you-know-who, the fish market, some people call her, which included allegations, which were only allegations, of DV and his and hers heavily publicized defamation trial. Thank you for that big lead-in of stuff we know already. But they say he's in the midst of a career reboot. Alright, not the best start, but let's see what we got. They say Marty premiered at the San Sebastian Film Festival last month, and obviously now it's at the Rome Film Festival. So here's the first question to Johnny, which I think they should have started with and skipped the crap, but okay, I guess something in the media says they have to give a brief history. Al Pacino first suggested this film about Modigliani to you way back in 1997. Why did it take so many years to make? And Johnny says, Al was going to direct it at the time, and he was talking to me while we were working together on Donnie Brasco, and he wanted me to play Modigliani. Then it sort of disappeared, and then 20 years went by, and Al calls me, and he says, hey John, I think you should direct the Modigliani thing. And I said, why? Good question, I guess. How do you feel about directing? This is your second attempt at directing a film. The first one, The Brave, back in 1997, did not go so well. The Brave didn't go so well. I remember very well the come down of the critics on The Brave, and all it did was make me understand, what do you do? Learn from that. I didn't know The Brave didn't go so well. I'm not a big movie buff, so okay. What more can you say, and why even throw that in there? What's the point? The Brave didn't go so well. Oh no. Just give it to me straight. You said in San Sebastian last month that your life turned into a soap opera. Do you still feel that way? Before he answers, what would change in a month? Like Johnny feels one way, a month goes by, now it's supposed to be completely different? Honestly, I can sit here this very second and think about all the hit pieces and how everybody was against me, and yeah, he's off the map, endless stuff. Well, let's not say everybody was against you. Let's say the mainstream for the most part. But there was plenty of defenders. Let's just, let's say that. But okay, Johnny gives credit where it's due a lot of the time. Just saying. Went through it all. Some of it was not the most beautiful time. Some of it was hilarious. Some of it was mad. The thing is, it simply was, and it simply just is. So for me, it happened. I learned, man. Everything we experience, whether you're given a snow cone or walking a dog, you learn something along the way. I don't have any ill feelings towards anyone. I don't have this great reserve of hatred because hatred requires caring. Why carry that baggage? Okay, I read this before in a previous video, and it kind of reminded me of Seinfeld and Michael Richards, who plays Kramer. Now, Michael Richards said the N-word in a comedy club, and it got out, and it wasn't a nice thing to do. All in all, he should have controlled himself. However, it kind of burdened him for like 10, 15 years after that. He said it, and what Seinfeld said, at a certain point, you gotta drop that bag. Same thing here. I think Johnny's saying about carrying that baggage. At a certain point, you just gotta drop it, whatever it is. If you've had some huge embarrassment or humiliation you can't get over, time goes on, it's a bag you carry, and at some point, the heaviness of that bag is gonna outweigh what you're carrying. Alright, let's move on. Did you identify with Modigliani? He was a wild guy, he was into sex, drugs, and rock and roll, and he couldn't stand rejection. He's the exact opposite of me. I adore rejection, Johnny says. Probably because Johnny doesn't get rejected so much. You don't hear so many people say they adore rejection. I'm thinking also mostly rejection with women, but also probably in the business, making movies, offering someone a deal, something like that. Johnny probably doesn't get much rejection, especially before the whole, bullshit happened. But in general, probably not much rejection. But are there ways to identify with him as a character? Of course. My upbringing was not the same as Modigliani's, but you do understand the levels you have to climb up the ladder or up a wall to get to the point where you learn your stripes. I do understand. But are there ways to identify with him as a character? Of course, my upbringing was not the same as Modigliani's, but you do understand the levels that you have to climb up the ladder or up a wall to get to the point where you earn your stripes. I do understand him in the sense that he stuck to his guns with his particular style, which was too far brute for those at the time. All right, sounds interesting. I'm going to guess he had some controversial art, maybe included nudity or adult themes or something, and at the time, it was maybe too much for people to handle. But I don't know. That's my speculation. I guess we'll find out. He was in the wilderness for a while, like you because of your personal issues. Is that a good description? It was a vast wilderness, and ultimately, that vast wilderness taught me a whole lot. What lessons have you learned? Oh, let's see. This should be funny, or should it be true? And Johnny laughs at that. And this last one I clipped out. With all the challenges you've faced in your personal life and your career, you still give unforgettable performances. Do you have an instinct or an intuition or some method that allows you to focus on authenticity of your roles? And Johnny says, yes, of course, it's my responsibility. But it is also helpful in certain instances, especially when things are crumbling all around. It's weird to be able to escape, not into character, but it is good to be able to inhabit a character, and as everything is in your toolbox, some of that stuff can be used as available stimuli, which is great. So, yeah, everything has been, it really has, it just is. And on some level, it's going to be around that kind of thing. It's like OJ or something, but hey, it just happened, that's all. Not sure exactly where he gets that from. Like OJ Simpson? Like Johnny's situation was like OJ Simpson? Okay, wait. I've said that before. Okay, I got it. I've said this before multiple times. He doesn't mean the situation is like OJ. Obviously, it wasn't a murder case, but like OJ, and I mentioned Michael Jackson, it's never going to go away. People say, well, why are you still talking about this and that? I could say, why are you still talking about Michael Jackson? Why OJ Simpson? Because they were huge historical cases. They're always going to be talked about to some extent. Anyway, that's about it. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you're not subscribed here, consider it. If you don't subscribe, I'll be sad, but I'll get over it. See you next time.